In the last 10 years, LAMATA has continued to transform public transportation in Lagos. This episode will be seeing the first part of a documentary on LAMATA at 10. Good evening, I am Kate Harmony.
I am Obafemi Craig. Thanks for joining us on the program tonight. We'll be back after the break. Managing Director of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority has assured of the completion of ongoing transport projects being implemented by the authority this year. He also promised that the agency will live up to public expectation in 2014, especially in the areas of improving and promoting public transportation in the state. He listed the project to include the expansion of Ikorodu Road from mile 12 to Ikorodu and the extension of the bus rapid transit system from mile 12 to Ikorodu, Ajelogo Market Street, Lishabi Akpata Road, and the first phase of the Blue Line Rail project. Dr. Dayo Mobriola, Managing Director LAMATA, while wishing Lagosians and Nigerians at large a prosperous 2014, said the agency will not relent in its efforts at delivering a better and world-class public transport infrastructure that will help mitigate the public transport challenges in the state. He said the agency would ensure that its projects will continue to support the socio-economic prosperity and environmental well-being of Lagosians. He said while government was committed to giving the citizenry a good transport system befitting the mega city of Lagos, citizens have the responsibility for fulfilling their obligation to the government by paying their taxes and obeying the laws of the land. That ends the news.
Basically, what LAMATA does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
LAMATA, think transport.
Thanks for staying tuned. Over the last few weeks, we have brought you LAMATA's challenges and success. Now we bring you LAMATA at 10. It is the story of how LAMATA has in the last 10 years been transforming roads and public transport in Lagos.
Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best.
The hustle continues on this bright and beautiful day in our metropolis, and you're tuned in to the station that is alive and awake. You're trying to get to your office, place of business, or your school. We are here to keep you company 24/7, bringing you news, updates, sports, and every happening in our metropolis. And there'll be lots of music. It's going to be a great day.
Lagos, Eko, one of the most populated cities in Africa, the home to National Theatre, African Shrine, Muson Center. It also holds a pivotal economic and social-political position in Nigeria, which is one of the reasons that it attracts. The primacy of Lagos in the economic and social-political equation of Nigeria cannot be underestimated. And that is why Lagos has continued to be a magnet that attracts a broad spectrum of world citizens. Lagos over the years has grown beyond the economic capital of Nigeria, but also into the entertainment and culture capital of the nation, becoming the home to young Nigerians who come to the city looking to make a dream come true. The population of the city keeps growing every day and is projected to be over 18 million. With this comes a set of challenges, and a vice that Lagos is known for: traffic. Unfortunately, this urban conurbation known as Lagos lacked one important thing that would make it function as a truly megacity: good public transportation. The transport infrastructure was simply lacking. Movement in Lagos is essentially road-based, either by private cars or by unregulated buses. The inadequate level of road space, land use characteristics, and the absence of mass transit system, combined with inadequate or poorly executed development plans and encroachments on road space, have given rise to numerous transportation problems in the Lagos metropolis.
Before LAMATA was set up, the road infrastructure in Lagos State was experiencing some deterioration. And of course, you would accept that the government was doing its best as at that time.
If we looked at the indicators of public transport generally, I think our observations were that they were generally of poor quality. They did not deliver passengers to where they wanted to be on time. People who wanted to use them had to wait for a very long time before they could access them. The fares they charged passengers were quite erratic and variable from day to day. That really was the experience before LAMATA was established.
In response to these enormous transport challenges in the ever-expanding Lagos metropolis, the state government established the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, with the World Bank's collaboration in the form of technical advice and direct financial assistance to the tune of $100 million credit and mandatory Lagos State counterpart contribution of $35 million.
The problem of transportation started in Lagos almost 40 years ago, when the federal seat of government was actually in Lagos. So everybody has to come to Lagos for business, for social activities and all of that. All of this happen on the island, and we have the natural barrier of the water, the lagoon, from the mainland to the island. A lot of people have to cross that on a daily basis. Majority, about 70% of the people, of citizens or people who are visiting Lagos, are actually coming from the mainland and going to the island. As a result, over years, you find out that people spend about 4 hours, 5 hours traveling to work in the morning and 4 hours, 5 hours coming back in the evening. And that became a major problem. What also happened was that the federal government and the state government realized that the capital, which is Lagos, was not productive as it should be because of the problem of transportation. And they now decided that something needs to be done. They tried many solutions. They tried park and ride, they tried Jubilee cars, Jubilee rail, all of that, and all of that failed. So that is when they said a study had to be done. They invited the World Bank to come and guide Lagos State and federal government in coming up with a study. And the study now found out that there were almost 104 agencies on the federal government side, state government side, local government side, and all of them getting involved in traffic management, transport management, and that led to chaos, led to lack of coordination, lack of planning. So all of that led to what was on ground then, which was congestion everywhere. And as a result, the study now came up and said there must be an holistic approach to deal with the problem of transportation in Lagos State.
What we call the Lagos State Mass Transit and Transport Program Study was put in place. The result of that study in 1990 led to the need for carrying out what we called detailed framework for setting up LAMATA, which was put together in 1996 through the combination or collaboration of the Lagos State government and the World Bank. Now, the World Bank at that time was involved, and by the time LAMATA was going to be established in the year 2002 by an act of the State House of Assembly, signed on 13th January 2002 by the then governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the World Bank was also on hand to support through the funding by way of credit of the Lagos Urban Transport Project, the Phase 1, which commenced in the year 2003.
The LAMATA law 2007 is a law to re-establish LAMATA, as it were. This is because there used to be a law, the LAMATA Law 2003, that was repealed in 2007. So this law supersedes the earlier one. It's a law to provide for the management and regulation of transport in the Lagos metropolis. Briefly talking about the law talks about the functions of LAMATA. It gives LAMATA the powers to grant franchises. It gives us powers to actually make regulations with the approval of the governor. And also this law talks about a transport fund. It's basically to ensure that there's sustainability for LAMATA.
In getting LAMATA running, fund is very critical, and in every aspect of life, fund is critical. For us in LAMATA, there are various ways where we source our fund. But before I explain that, the starting point is usually to have the projects that meet the objectives of the agency. In other words, we start by looking at the objectives set up for the authority. We now decide where we sought funds to meet those objectives. Basically, we are being funded by Lagos State government, the multilateral institutions such as the World Bank, France Development Agency, and of course we do get grants for studies. 80% of our funding comes from budgetary allocation from Lagos State government, while the remaining 20% come from those multilateral institutions I've earlier mentioned. But the starting point is to have the projects that is bankable, to use the bankers' word. That is the project that will meet the needs of the society, the project that will meet the objective of the authority. The moment we have that, we now start looking for where to fund those projects.
For the recruitment of experts and professionals, we use a series of different kind of processes. Sometimes we use a recruitment agency. Sometimes we'll advertise in the newspaper. And then sometimes we headhunt. We've had situations where we found, especially for our foreign experts, we've had to headhunt them from institutions like Transport for London, Department for Transport in London. And then when we identify these Nigerians, we search for them, talk to them, and try to get them into a contract to work with us. Then for our local capacity, we use a recruitment agency, as I said, and sometimes we might advertise in the newspaper. And then we follow an internal process to make a decision, and then we engage such professionals.
Well, what we have tried to do is to organize the public transport sector. Our first task, of course, was to have some sort of a vision for public transport. And we set up something called the Strategic Transport Master Plan for Lagos, with a heavy focus on public transportation. You would have observed that as far back as 2008, a BRT scheme, has been launched in Lagos and is still operating. We followed that up with a BFS scheme back in 2009 as well. As we speak, there is a light rail project that is now under construction. We have introduced an electronic ticketing system in Lagos. We have begun to reduce the influence and the role of informal public transport in Lagos by ensuring that the unions who control this particular market are now being brought into the formal sector.
The success factor of LAMATA, number one, was that we're lucky to have political champions, Governor Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We also had the present governor, Governor Raji Fashola, who both believed in what it is that we were doing, and they gave us all the supports. And that, for me, is the key to success of LAMATA. And that has helped us tremendously to get all the necessary approvals, all the necessary financial support. Apart from that, we also have the ability, or I call it another magnet, to actually attract the right professionals, which is lacking in this part of the world. Again, if we don't have the professionals, you can't deliver what it is that you're supposed to do.
The Lagos State government has also shown a lot of commitment to the promotion of an integrated intermodal transport system through yearly substantial budgetary votes to transportation. he has demonstrated his avowed commitment to public transportation by commissioning the Mile 12 to CMS Bus Rapid Transit System and approved the extension of the BRT to Ikorodu town.
LAMATA has come to stay.
I see LAMATA going places.
It is an organization that is very relevant to development.
I see LAMATA igniting the transport system of Lagos.
I see LAMATA transforming the face of transportation in Lagos State.
I foresee LAMATA at the peak.
I see LAMATA making transportation more exciting to commuters.
So we can begin to see the mega city emerging once the rail system is in place.
The Lagos State government is also building a metro rail project from Okokomaiko to Marina. The first phase, spanning about 7.5 kilometers of the entire 27-kilometer railroad, is nearing completion and is expected to commence operations soon. Also, the second phase of the project, which is expected to take the rail across the lagoon to Marina, has been awarded and work has commenced.
The communication process in LAMATA depends on the project in question. For different projects that we handle, the audiences will differ, and we always make sure that we tailor our communication to talk to the target audience. We'll engage with the people, we'll have direct communication with them, we'll have meetings with their opinion leaders, we'll do a lot of PR and enlightenment, we'll go on radio stations that target that particular audience. Sometimes we also have to have what we call town hall meetings, where we can all bring them together into one arena, and they can meet with the management of LAMATA and all the other stakeholders on the project, and we can talk to them about that project. It gives them an opportunity to air their views, to talk about their affairs, and we can tell them, answer all their questions and sort of paint a big picture to them. LAMATA Half Hour actually started off as BRT Half Hour, and it was the child of necessity. When LAMATA came on board, what we did was novel, and people didn't really understand where we were going. So when it started off as BRT Half Hour, it gave us a very strong platform to tell our story. It was called BRT Half Hour because that was the first flagship service that LAMATA introduced into the system. So that's why it was called BRT Half Hour. But over the years, LAMATA has sort of divested into so many other things, and now it's LAMATA Half Hour. And it's still a very strong vehicle for us to tell our story, and there's a lot of engagement on it now. People can call, they can send messages. We've also, gone on social media. So LAMATA Half Hour has grown with LAMATA.
One of the components of Lagos Urban Transport Project is improvement of the road network efficiency, which means we have inserted some kilometers of roads in Lagos State where we do our maintenance work on. We do classify these our roads into projects, and it goes through the stage of planning, project execution, monitoring and controlling, and of course we close such projects after it has been implemented.
My experience working with LAMATA was so fantastic because I learned a lot when I got here, especially in the field of my driving sector. Being the head driver, I gained a lot, and my colleagues too, because we organize seminars annually, trainings, retreats, and seminars. And I think that improves our driving skill in order for the maintenance of the organization vehicles. I foresee LAMATA at the peak because we are moving forward and we have been doing well, and we are trying to make our vision to be a foremost facilitator of a sustainable transport in Lagos State.
The experience has been very wonderful. In fact, I'm privileged to be part of this achieving team because LAMATA has kind of transformed the face of transportation in Lagos State. It's been a privilege to be part of the team. One of the high points was when BRT was launched. That is a big one for LAMATA. And we're also looking forward to the rail project being launched.
It's
very important for the project operators to take into consideration environment and social issues when they intervene. And it is a transport project, meaning that we will need to do many things that will negatively or adversely affect the environment. When you're building a road, you affect both the physical and the social environment. The physical environment is when your road raises dust, when you have to take care of some flooding issues. Those are physical conditions. But social conditions is when you have to displace persons on the road. Maybe the traders, maybe there are school fences, there are institutional fences on the road. So you need to adequately take care of them and ensure that their living condition is, if not better, does not get worse than when you met them.
You have been watching the first part of the documentary on LAMATA at 10. We do hope you found it informative and educative. Next week, we'll bring you the concluding part.
For more information, you can please visit our website or get in touch with us through social media. Contact details appear on your screen now. Do please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. Till next week, LAMATA, Think Transport.
Eko Akete, Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges, new roads. Mega city, yeah. Eko Akete, Lagos, my home. Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. For the best. LAMATA is facilitating